How's it going, my fellow members? Welcome back to Kira TV After Dark. Tonight we have more frightening tales from around the world that I think you will enjoy. So get a fresh pair of underwear, some gloves so you don't bite your nails, and get comfy as Kira takes your mind for a ride. So enjoy. Tonight, our first tale is called The Bear Lake Monster. It's a Utah ghost story I've heard many times. I don't know if you are familiar with it, but I certainly enjoy it. It's certainly a good fright. If you travel to Bear Lake in Utah on a quiet day, you just might catch a glimpse of this Bear Lake monster. The monster looks like a huge brown snake and is nearly 90 feet long. It has ears that stick out from its side of its skinny head, and a mouth big enough to devour a man. According to some, it's got small legs, and it can sort of scary when it ventures onto land. But in the water, watch out. It can swim faster than a horse can gallop. It makes a mile a minute on a good day. Sometimes the monster likes to sneak up on unwary swimmers and blow water at them. The ones it doesn't carry off to eat, that is. A feller I heard about spotted the monster early one evening as he was walking along the lake. He tried to shoot at it with his rifle. The man was a crack shot, but not one of his bullets touched the monster. He wasn't that much of a good shot, was he? Apparently, the man was a crack shot, and it scared the heck out of him, and he hightailed it home faster than you can say, Jack Robinson! Left his rifle behind him and claimed the monster ate it. Sometimes when the monster has been quite quiet for a while, people start saying it is gone for good. Some folks even dredge up that old tale that says how Pecos Bill heard about the Bear Lake monster and bet some cowpokes that he could wrestle that monster until it said uncle. Now, what kind of language is that? According to them folks, the fight lasted for days and created a hurricane around Bear Lake. Finally, Bill flung that dire monster over his shoulder, and it flew so far it went plumb round the world and landed in Loch Ness, where it lives to this day. Well, that's just plumb crazy talk. I'll tell you what. Of course, we all know better than that. Seriously, that's what it says. Of course, we all know better than that. The Bear Lake monster is just hibernating like. Keep your eyes open at dusk and maybe you'll see it come out to feed. Just be careful swimming in the lake, or you might be its next meal. The next tale comes out of Mexico and can be considered a true classic ghost story in my opinion. It's called The Girl in White. A man was sulking a little, standing at the sidelines while all the other men danced with their pretty partners. His girl not come to the dance that night. Her mother was ill, and so his girl had to remain at her side. A fine, pious act, he thought sourly, but it left him at loose ends. His friend Ernesto came up to him between sets with a cold drink and some words of encouragement. After all, Anita is not the only girl in the world, Ernest said. There are many pretty girls here tonight. Dance with one of them. What a bastard! Bolstered by his friend's words, he started looking around the dance hall. His eye fell upon a beautiful young girl standing wistfully at the edge of the floor beside the door to the terrace. She was dressed in an old-fashioned white gown, and her skin was pale as the moon. Her dark eyes watched the dance hungrily from her position behind a tall fern, and he felt his heart beat faster. Such a lovely woman should be dancing. He made his way through the bustling crowd and bowed to the girl in white. She looked startled by his addresses, as if she had not expected anyone to notice her that night. But she readily assented to dance with him, and he proudly led her out onto the floor for the next set, all thoughts of Anita gone from his mind. He too is a bastard. Ernesto and some of his other friends gave him odd looks as he danced with the girl in white, as they should. A few times the man opposite them bumped right into them, as if he had not seen his partner at all. He was furious and wanted to stop the dance and make the man apologize to the girl in white, but she just laughed and hushed him. When the dance was over, he hurried to get his fair partner a drink. Ernesto approached him at the refreshment table. "When I told you to dance, I meant with a partner," his friend teased him. "I was dancing with a partner," he replied, irritated by his friend's remark. "The loveliest girl of all of Mexico." "You've had too much to drink, my friend," Ernest replied. "You were dancing by yourself out there." He glared at his friend and turned away without answering him. Making his way back to the girl in white, he handed her a glass and asked her to stroll with him along the terrace. The night was beautiful, the sky full of stars, and he stared at the girl in white with his heart in his eyes as they stood looking out over the beautiful scene. The girl in white turned to him with a sigh and said, "Thank you for the dance, senor. It has been a very long time since I had such a pleasure." "Let us dance again, then," he said infatuatedly, but she shook her head. "I must leave now," she said, catching up her skirts with one hand and drifting toward the stairs at the side of the terrace. "Please don't go," he pleaded, following her. "I must," she said, turning to look at him. Her eyes softened when she saw the look on his face. "Come with me," she invited, holding out a pale hand. His heart pounded rapidly at the thought. More than anything in the world he wanted to go with this lovely girl, and then his mind registered the fact that he could see the stone wall of the terrace through the girl's hand. His desire melted away before the shock of that realization. He looked into her face again and realized that she was fading away before his eyes. With the look of horror on his face, the girl gave a sad laugh and dropped her hand, which was nearly transparent now. "Goodbye," she said. Her body became thin and misty. "Goodbye." Then she was gone. He gave a shout of terror when he realized he had been dancing with a ghost. He bolted from the premises, leaving his horse behind, and ran all the way home. When Ernesto came the next day to bring him his horse, he told his friend the whole story. Ernesto whistled in awe. "You saw the spirit of Consuela, my friend," he said. "She was the daughter of one of the local aristocracy who lived in this region more than 100 years ago. She died of consumption the night before her first ball, and they say her spirit sometimes attends the local dances, helping to claim one of the dances that she missed." He shuddered at the thought of his dance with the ghost. "I will not be visiting that dance hall again," he told Ernesto. "From now on, all my dances will be with Anita." And he kept his word. This next story is a bizarre tale, as it gets, and in my opinion, it's a little bit gross, but as you will find as much as I did, it is very humorous. But all the same, this legend is called the Yari-Ma-Yahoo. The interesting thing about how this vampire-like creature in Australian Aborigine lore is not his appearance. Sure, a 4 feet tall, red, hairy man-like creature with a rather large habit of eating more than just fruit. It's very strange indeed. Yeah, I didn't want to say this, but its habit was eating children. It was a little disturbing. Ugh. The Yari-Ma-Yahoo doesn't hunt for food. He patiently waits in a fig tree for foods to come to him. He pounces on a person when they walk under the tree. He sucks most of their blood with his suckers, leaving just enough to keep them alive. But this is only their blood with the suckers, leaving just enough to keep them alive. What the hell? Okay, this is somewhat of a nursery rhyme, it turns out. But this is only the beginning of the torturous methods. After a little workout, he returns to his victim and lies on the ground facing them. Then he crawls to them and swallows them whole like a snake and does a little dance to jiggle the body down jiggle their body down to his stomach. The Yahoo regurgitates his victim, who is usually still alive. At this point, it would be best if you would just play dead. He'll test to see if his victim is still alive, poke them with a stick, tickle them under the chin and arms, what the fuck, and even walk away and quickly turn around if the victim is successfully in convincing him they are dead. He'll walk away and watch his victim for a little while, but eventually seek a bush and fall asleep, giving them the opportunity to escape. However, if they fail, the regurgitation process continues many more times. After a certain amount of times, the victim is turned into a Yahoo. Very strange. Last but not least, our most frightening tale of the night comes out of the lovely Pine Barrens of New Jersey. Yes, this is the most famous legend we all know as the birth of the Jersey Devil. A storm was raging that night in 1735 when Mother Lees was brought to bed in childbirth. The room was full of women folk gathered to help her, more out of curiosity than goodwill. They had all heard rumors that Mother Lees was involved in witchcraft. She was giving birth to her 13th, and out of pain she screamed, "Let it be a devil." Tension mounted when at last the baby arrived. It was a relief and somewhat of a disappointment when the baby was born completely normal. But a few moments later, before the terrifying eyes, the child began to change. The room erupted with screams as the child grew at an enormous rate, becoming taller than a man and changing into a beast, which resembled a dragon with a head like a horse and a snake-like body with bat wings. As soon as it was full grown, the monster began beating all the women, including his mother, with its thick forked tail. With a harsh cry, it flew through the fire-lit chimney and vanished into the forest. The monster of Lees, or the Jersey Devil as we later call it, still haunts the Pine Barrens of New Jersey, wreaking havoc upon farmers' crops and livestock, poisoning pools and creeks, and appearing on the New Jersey shore just before the sinking of a ship. Only the foundation remains of the house. To those who brave, let's see here. Sorry, I skipped a line. Yes. The house where it was born is long gone, and only the foundation remains. But to those who brave or dare the Pine Barrens in doubt shall meet the Jersey Devil and be changed for life. Creepy tale to say the least, my friends, but is any of it true? Well, I myself can tell you this. I've traveled to the Pine Barrens and never saw anything, but you do feel watched. And that's from my own experience, my fellow members. I went to New Jersey on a vacation when I was, say, 16. We were going through the states on the East Coast, and I did go to the Pine Barrens. Anyways, hoping you've enjoyed tonight's entertainment. Like a favorite if you've enjoyed. Subscribe and become a member today or tonight. Also leave a comment and share if you wish. It always helps. I love all my members, and hopefully this channel will grow as time goes on. This is Kira here, wishing you all a good night from Frights. Thanks for watching Kira TV After Dark. Stay awesome, my members.